difficult it is for you to handle situation when there are, a mismatch between the candidates expectations and organizational culture? Because nowadays candidates are very much aware of their needs, maybe in
Yes.
terms of their mental well-being, maybe in terms of work-life balance. So how do you handle these kind of situations?
Sure. As leaders, we do come across sometimes, wherein people join and they have different expectations, and probably during hiring, the hiring manager had thought differently. Now, but at the end of the day, the person has joined the organization. So it's our responsibility. So I would say I follow 30, 60, 90 metrics, wherein I have a mentor and a mentee program. We keep in touch. How is the employee feeling on the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Point number one. So that if there are any small differences, we are able to iron them out. Point number two, there have been situations where we can see clear differences of opinions in most of the thought process, working style. Ashish, I expected this, but this is completely different over here. The first and foremost about such situations is to be very frank and straightforward. Have a heart-to-heart conversation over a cup of tea or coffee. Don't make a very informal meeting. Try to understand what the concerns are of the person. And one mindset, that's more important. Because there have been certain times wherein all of us probably we are working inside the organization, our thoughts probably are just locked. But this person is an outside in approach. There could be a very positive feedback for us as an organization.
True.
So have one-on-one conversation with him or her. Try to understand the concern, and also try to understand if there are ways and means of addressing those concerns. Again, involving multiple stakeholders, hiring manager, reporting manager, and so to see if they can bridge a gap. Point number three, and have a timeline around it so that we are very clear in which direction we are going. At the same time, suppose we feel the person is not able to accept the cultural changes, it's better that we call off the shots. And it's better that we inform that, we part ways, because there's no point. For example, if I have something which is if I have someone who's joined who has a very contradictory approach to my vision and mission values of my organization, and is not ready to budge, is not ready to change, then I think it's not going to make sense of working together. So, but it's time that we have a very meaningful engagement, heart-to-heart conversations, very open, and tell very openly, okay, look, this is what my organization stands for, and we would want all our employees, and try to see if we can look at a win-win situation and try to understand from where the employee is coming. Maybe if he has a different past experience which he's trying to relate to. And they have again a stakeholder involvement over here, right from top to bottom, 4 or 5 people involved, and all of them talk to this particular person. There have been situations where a person has changed,
Right.
So it's no one shoe fits all. I would say try multiple ways, but if it's not working out, it's better to part ways rather than having a bitter experiences at both ends.
That's true, because it is a very crucial relationship between the commitment and the competency.
Absolutely.
So the last question for this section is, what will be your take on diversity and inclusion in talent acquisition? Although you explained a little bit about it, and how does it contribute to long-term talent retention strategies?
Sure. I would say diversity and inclusion are playing a very, very crucial role, because it is diverse talents which brings in innovation. And we're talking about the age of innovation. Most importantly, for an employer, it helps to showcase that I am an equal opportunity employer.
Right.
Point number 2, from an employee's point of view, it shows that we have an inclusive work culture. Anybody is free to share their concern, their thought processes. They're not afraid, that I lose my job, I'll do something, nothing. It's a very open culture, transparent culture. Thirdly, when we have people from different parts of the world, they are in different parts of the world, different geographies, different races, I'm 100% sure we have better data-based decision. We are able to take better decision-making abilities.
Right.
Because we have a cream of everyone, and otherwise I'm only going to see from my lens. But tomorrow, diverse talent from different parts of geographies, they actually help in data and decision-making processes. And to an outsider, I'm showing that as an organization, I'm open to diversity. And I would say again, diversity include men, women, right from the leadership level. It's not only at a lower level. Right from leadership level, we should walk the talk at the end of the day. So including and I would say involving employees in a lot of decision-making processes will actually also give employees a lot of kind of trust between the management and employees. So diversity and inclusivity play a larger role in terms of a long-term growth, because when a potential candidate see that an employer is embracing diversity and inclusivity, you're in a very likely to attract a very top cream part of the talent. And not only that, you're also able to retain your existing talent. So with these strategies, I think diversity and inclusivity is going to play a long-term role in the successful business of an organization.
Right, I completely agree on this, because complementing each other's talent is equally important for the growth of the company. Wonderful answer, Mr. Ashish Mittal. So let's move to the next section of our show, that is a rapid fire round. Where you need to give answer in either one word or in one sentence. So one buzzword that best describes your approach to talent acquisition.
I would say agile talent sourcing.
Great. If you could hire one fictional character, who would be your top pick and why?
It would be, I would say, Sherlock Holmes, because he's a very detective fiction, because he uses a lot of analytical skills, problem solving, decision making. If I have someone like Sherlock Holmes in my team, I'll be able to solve complex problems using, with a lot of analytics and data. So that's the reason I would prefer to choose him.
Great. What's your go-to strategy for retaining top talent? Perks or culture?
It would be definitely culture.
Culture. Trend you are convinced will dominate the job market in the next decade?
So I would say today we are moving to more of a skill-based hiring. So I think that will take, because even companies like Google and a lot of MNCs are looking for skill-based hiring. So that's something which will take over.
Right. Your favorite interview question that always provides surprising insight into a candidate. This is a secret.
Sure, definitely. It's actually an open secret, I would say. I always ask the candidates a question, please tell me about a particular problem or a task which you were given. What are the problems you had and how did you handle the problems and what is the outcome of it? And the reason is because I want to get out of technical skills. I want to understand the problem solving, decision making, emotional intelligence, and is the candidate able to have self-reflection, learnings, take the takeaways from it. These real-life examples actually practically exhibit the qualities in a candidate which comes out. So this is one of my best questions for me to get the insights of a particular candidate.
Wonderful. Share one word that describe an ideal company culture.
Ideal company culture, I would say something treating employees on par. Something is extremely important for me. So an organization which treats employees on par with respect will be successful in any initiative which they undertake.
Right. If talent acquisition were a game, what would be your secret power-up?
I would say predictive analytics. The reason is because if I'm able to use analytics and foresee my trends in the coming future, it will help me to take database decisions. So predictive analytics will be my secret weapon, I would say.
Perfect. Remote work or office-centric approach for future talent acquisition?
I would say I would prefer a hybrid approach wherein I inculcate remote working as well as office from working, because I can have best of both the worlds. So wherein I can look at actually a win-win situation, wherein events which require collaboration, interpersonal communication and relationship, that we can have working in office, but otherwise having the flexibility to work, so that a hybrid approach would be one of the best approaches I would choose.
Wonderful. Share a creative strategy you have implemented that dramatically boosted employee engagement.
Sure. In one of my previous organizations, I had a virtual talent show, wherein I had employees from different locations to exhibit their talent. Some actually sang songs, some actually showed their artworks, some did stand-up comedy shows. So having a virtual talent show actually helped individual employees to showcase their talents.
Wow.
It helped other employees to appreciate their own colleagues outside of their professional boundaries.
True.
Thirdly, while conducting this initiative, it actually helped to strengthen the interpersonal and team bonding and organizations, team bonding skills. So driving this event of virtual talent show was something which worked out very good for me in driving employee engagement.
Right. In fact, it will also a great tool to for the self-reflection. Like what actually I'm hiding inside myself.
Absolutely.
And so the last question is, if you could give a new HR professional one single piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say practice continuous learning. Very, very important. We are talking about the VUCA world, and we say Bani is the new VUCA. VUCA is talking about present, whereas Bani is talking about future. Brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. So in the ever-evolving, changing times, it's important that all HR professionals keep themselves updated. For example, 4 days back, I was going through a report which said that in this year, 2023, there was 58% more layoffs of employees as against last year.
Oh.
So we had about 2.6 lakhs employees in India who were laid off, as against 1.6 lakhs employees who were laid off last year. So the point is, if my all HR leaders keep abreast of what is happening in terms of metaverse, I mean, how I'm going to use augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed realities to have a better employee experience, gamification, how do I make my induction very inclusive, very engaging for a candidate to join? So leveraging technology, understanding the HR trends, local, national, and global level, and keeping abreast of all various situations around. So I would say just practice continuous learning. That will really help you to be on par, in front, so that you are able to take the right decisions for the employees and for the organization.
Wonderful. Amazing answers, Mr. Ashish Mittal. We are really grateful for you. You have shared a bit of your time for us. And, it was like a great, insightful session. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Looking forward for many more sessions with you, Mr. Ashish.
Sure. My pleasure. Thank you so much.